Hello dear viewers, in this video, we will share with you information about smoking and its harms proven by scientists. In our next video we will offer some tips for quitting smoking. If you like the video, you can press the like button and subscribe to be notified of new videos. Let's get started. Cigarette smoking, which ranks first among the most frequently consumed tobacco products worldwide, is one of the extremely harmful habits that causes the death of more than 5 million people every year. Cigarette consumption is the leading cause of preventable and non-communicable diseases and deaths related to these diseases all over the world. There are more than 7,000 chemicals in cigarette smoke, hundreds of them are toxic and more than 70 are directly carcinogenic. Many harmful components such as cadmium used in battery production, methane gas found in large amounts in swamps, arsenic used in the chemical industry and known for its toxic effects, nicotine used in pesticide production, carbon monoxide gas responsible for stove and water heater poisoning, ammonia used in the paint industry are directly released into the body by cigarette smoke, is taken. Among these toxic chemicals, which cause extremely negative effects on human health, the substance called nicotine, which is used as an insecticide, also has a strong stimulating effect on the nervous system. Due to this feature of nicotine, smokers develop psychic and physical dependence on nicotine over time. Now let's talk a little bit about cigarette addiction. So what is cigarette addiction? Substance addiction is defined by the World Health Organization as the person sees the psychoactive substance he is using as significantly more valuable than other objects and occupations that he previously valued, and gives that substance a much higher priority, and can be summarized as the loss of control over the use of any substance. Nicotine addiction, known as cigarette addiction, has also been defined by the World Health Organization as consumption of 1 cigarette per day on a regular basis. With the consumption of nicotine, which has stimulating effects on the nervous system, both physical and psychological dependence may occur in the person over time. Addiction, which occurs within months in alcohol use, and within days in drug use, develops within hours with nicotine use. It is extremely important to avoid cigarette consumption, which is directly related to many serious health problems such as cancer, heart attack, stroke, and depression, and to get professional support from specialist units in case of addiction. What are the harms of smoking? Cigarette consumption adversely affects all organs of the body, especially the lungs, and can lead to serious health problems associated with many body systems. The health problems associated with smoking and its harms, which are responsible for the death of 1 person every 6 seconds around the world, can be listed as follows. Number 1. Cancer. There are more than 7,000 chemicals in cigarettes, hundreds of which are toxic, and more than 70 of them are directly carcinogenic. Secondary cigarette smoke exposure, called cigarette consumption and passive smoking, is directly related to many cancer diseases, especially lung cancer. The risk of dying from any cancer-related disease for a smoker increases 7 times, while the risk of death associated with lung cancer increases 12 to 24 times. Number 2. Cardiovascular diseases. Cigarette consumption and exposure to cigarette smoke are one of the preventable factors that lead to cardiovascular diseases. Carbon monoxide gas, which is found in cigarette smoke and responsible for stove and water heater poisoning, passes from the lungs to the blood. It binds directly to blood cells called hemoglobin. When these cells, which are responsible for carrying oxygen to the tissues, are bound with carbon monoxide gas, they cannot carry oxygen molecules and the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood to the tissues is greatly reduced. As a result, the working load of the heart increases, intravascular blood pressure rises and cardiovascular system diseases develop. Smokers are 4 times more likely to die from cardiovascular diseases, such as heart attacks, than non-smokers. Number 3. Respiratory system diseases. The most rapidly and most intensely affected organ by cigarette smoke is undoubtedly the lungs. Tar, one of the harmful chemicals in the inhaled smoke, accumulates in the lung tissue and causes destruction in these tissues over time. As a result, respiratory capacity decreases and the risk of serious respiratory system-related diseases such as asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, increases. It can be said that the risk of COPD increases by more than 8% as a result of long-term smoking. Number 4. Impairment in sexual functions. In order for all cells in the body to function properly, each cell must have sufficient oxygen levels. As a result of cigarette consumption, the oxygen-carrying capacity of the blood is greatly reduced, and this causes loss of function in all body systems. Toxic chemicals taken with cigarette smoke cause deterioration in sexual functions in both genders. These chemicals, which have very harmful effects on the ovaries and testicles, are also one of the important factors that increase the risk of infertility. While cigarette consumption causes reproductive health-related problems such as miscarriage, placental problems and ectopic pregnancy during pregnancy, the risk of irregular menstrual cycle, osteoporosis, early menopause and gynecological cancer increases. Number 5. Kidney diseases. The nicotine taken into the body with cigarette smoke turns into a different chemical substance, called cotinine after it is metabolized. This substance, which is one of the metabolic wastes of the body, is excreted from the body through the urine, but passes through the entire renal system until it is excreted in the urine, and the kidneys and other structures are adversely affected during this time. In addition, the increase in blood pressure caused by smoking can lead to serious damage to the kidneys, and even kidney failure in the long term. Number 6. Depression. Cigarette consumption has very harmful effects on mental health as well as on all systems of the body. Depressive symptoms are much more common in people who smoke or are exposed to secondhand smoke, and especially the rapid increase and decrease in nicotine levels greatly increases the person's susceptibility to depression. Number 7. Type 2 diabetes. Smoking is one of the important factors leading to type 2 diabetes. While people who used to smoke in the past have a 28% increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes, this number is much higher for current smokers. What are the health benefits of quitting smoking? Cigarette consumption directly affects all systems of the body and causes many systemic diseases. The decrease in the oxygen-carrying capacity of the blood leads to the lack of oxygen in the cells and increases the susceptibility to many health problems from heart attack to depression. However, shortly after smoking cessation, the oxygen-carrying capacity of the blood increases and all cells of the body reach sufficient oxygen saturation. The time elapsed after quitting smoking and the gains in terms of health can be listed as follows. Within 20 minutes, blood pressure returns to normal, and blood circulation improves. After 8 hours, the blood carbon monoxide level starts to decrease and the oxygen density of the blood increases. After 24 hours, the risk of heart attack, which has increased 4 times with cigarette consumption, begins to decrease. At the end of the 48-hour period, the damage to the nerve endings decreases and the sense of taste and smell improves. Between 2 weeks and 3 months, blood circulation improves, lung capacity increases by 30%. Walking, exercising, climbing stairs becomes much easier. Between 1 month and 9 months, the secretion in the sinuses and lungs decreases, healthier breathing is achieved and the person begins to feel much more energetic and vigorous. At the end of a smoke-free year, both the heart and vascular structures are greatly improved and the risk of coronary artery disease is reduced by half. At the end of 5 years, the risk of death from lung cancer is halved. Stroke risk is at the same level as a non-smoker. The risks of cancers associated with the mouth, throat, esophagus, pancreas, bladder, and kidney are reduced. Smoking addiction may need to be treated with professional methods in experienced centers. Don't neglect to seek professional help during the smoking cessation phase. Yeah, dear viewers, these are the information about smoking and its harms. In our next video we will offer some tips for quitting smoking. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos. Thanks for watching. See you in another video.